Here's Brody Brazil.
So after these most recent developments and a $100 million payout by the team to the city of Cleveland, the Browns are, in fact, leaving Cleveland. That's the headline. That's what's going to catch eyes and ears. Technically, they're leaving city limits, yes. They're not even leaving Cuyahoga County. They're literally just going out to the suburbs, 15 to 20 minutes away to a place called Brook Park. It's right by the airport, but yes, technically, after all the fight that's been put up, after all the back and forth that's transpired about this team trying to get itself a new stadium and some real estate to go along with it, it seems like all the hurdles have now been cleared. But again, I want to be clear about this. It's not a drastic move, right? Now, there are some elements which we'll discuss later on. Do fans actually want this move? Do taxpayers want this move? Here's where the Browns Stadium currently sits, on the shores of Lake Erie, and yes, a 17-minute drive as I mapped it out earlier this morning to that marked location right next to Hopkins International Airport. So nothing drastic, but a huge development for the future of this franchise. And construction, by the way, has already started. There were some legal challenges about proximity to the airport and the existing Modell law. Talk more about that in a second, but construction actually already started. Even with all of that in the mix, they're still aiming for it to be complete, this stadium and the development, for the 2029 NFL season. The Browns said that the renovation of their current lakefront stadium would not solve operational issues, like realistically it needed infrastructure fixes, and certainly the weather of that stadium being outdoors didn't exactly open the doors to having a wintertime basketball event there. It just couldn't happen. They said they needed a dome to justify the magnitude of this public-private partnership, meaning that they want to make this stadium a year-round venue for not just football, but other events. And so that's why the Browns see opportunity here in terms of not just their football season, but everything else. 75,000-seat stadium, a development spanning across 176 acres. And by the way, the Cleveland Browns just on the field, I know we're talking about their business endeavors here. I'll remind you, established in 1944. In 1995, their owner, Art Modell, the Browns 1.0, moved the team to Baltimore. Then in 1999, the NFL said, all right, we see what happened wrong here. We'll give you back the Browns. We'll restock this team through the expansion draft. But since then, I mean, Cleveland football fans have been happy to have a team back, their team back, Browns 2.0, but just 4 winning seasons since their 1999 respawn. Kind of amazing, the lack of success. And that's why maybe there's a lack of trust of what exactly is happening here, football and business sides coming together. So here's the very latest. All the lawsuits, all of the hurdles, all of the guardrails and cyclone fences that were put up by the city of Cleveland, and all the lawsuits going the other way from the team towards government entities, all of that has been dropped. The lawsuits between the city of Cleveland and the Haslam Sports Group, both ways, have all been dropped. So the airport battles, the Modell law being changed, all of that gone, done, dusted. The Browns are paying a $100 million settlement to the city of Cleveland. That's it, right? Money talks. Apparently, the city of Cleveland heard the number they want and some of the other benefits they'll get, and that's it. They're letting the Browns walk away. For all the fight, all the pushback, all the, challenges and controversy, it just came down to $100 million. Cleveland's also going to get $30 million for demolition of the current stadium, so the team is responsible for leveling the current stadium on the lakefront and basically making it a pad that's ready to be built on and developed. And Cleveland's also getting $20 million in community benefits. They don't start until 2034, and I want to say it's a 10-year, $2 million a year arrangement, but some community benefits that will continue well into the 2040s because of this agreement. So simple as that, right? The Browns are already paying a significant amount, a huge amount to do this deal. They're also getting public subsidies, more on that. But what's $150 million to them to just make all of this go away? And to arrive at this, by the way, with this past week and the developments and starting construction, and now that this has been cleared, we are seeing some more renderings. And I got to say, just from an aesthetic standpoint, I like the fact that the Browns aren't doing a cookie-cutter stadium design here. It's not the round or oval shape with the typical scoreboards on both sides of the end zone and then that centerpiece glass area on one end of the field. Like, it's got the translucent roof. It's got a really long rectangular scoreboard. Again, all of these are just renderings, but it's got more angles, right, than it does curvy parts. So look, I appreciate the Browns as much as they're doing what a lot of other teams want to do, go to the suburbs and build a dome. They're also making this, at least from a design standpoint, look a little bit different. Again, they want to host everything there. They want the next round of Taylor Swift concerts there, I'm pretty sure. They want to host March Madness. These are all things that they could not do before. How about this? Host a Super Bowl. When could Cleveland ever have hosted, Brook Park, Cleveland ever have hosted a Super Bowl before this? They couldn't. There's no way the NFL would let a game of that magnitude happen outdoors in the Cleveland climate of, let's say, early February. It would not happen. But now you're opening the doors to so many other things. And, oh yeah, you're also opening the doors literally to this real estate development, which the Browns own the land. Imagine how much money that is going to pull in over the next decade, 25 years, and 50 years. So speaking of money, let's talk about project funding and the latest that we understand here. About $2.4 billion for the stadium. Now they've aligned it that it's $900 million of public subsidies, including $600 million in that unclaimed property fund by the state of Ohio that's going to get paid back over 16 years. Also, the other $300 million via bonds from the city of Brook Park and Cuyahoga County. More on the unclaimed property fund in a second. But the Browns are at $1.5 billion for building this stadium only, not the rest of the development, just the stadium only, plus all the overages, obviously, going to the Browns. Going back to that unclaimed property fund, what is that? It's the state of Ohio currently sitting on $3.7 billion in inactive bank accounts, uncashed checks, stocks and bonds, unclaimed utility deposits, unclaimed insurance benefits, forgotten rent deposits, safe deposit box contents, and unclaimed wages. And so the team is basically saying, hey, you got some money in those couch cushions over there? Can we borrow that? We'll pay it back over 16 years, but this is literally where they're borrowing the money from. Money that is owed to citizens of the state of Ohio. This is such an interesting... I thought I'd seen it all in terms of how to pay for a stadium or how to get public subsidies. Now I've seen it all, I think. Let's get to the takeaways here. And I really put some thought into all aspects of this because some of this is simple. Some of it is so much more layered and nuanced than it first appears. So Cleveland's opposition, right, in trying to fight the airport height restriction, right, or at least enforce the airport height restriction to kind of fight this development. And it was the Ohio Department of Transportation who said, nope, actually you can't build here. We've got an issue. It's like 56 feet too high. And the city of Cleveland was behind that. So all of their pushback to the Browns moving and trying to enact the Modell law, all of that, like, it didn't save the team from moving. Was all of that opposition just to get the biggest payout possible? Did they kind of wait here and say, well, all right, it's October 15th. They've started construction. We better take the payout here. We better hit the jackpot as soon as we can. I mean, this was really not about Cleveland, the city of Cleveland, keeping the team in its location now, was it? It all kind of feels in reverse, like they were putting up all these fences only to say, well, we'll take them down. Give us $100 million. Give us that 9-figure amount, and we'll be out of your hair. And that's essentially what happened. I also take a little bit of exception to tearing a 30-year-old stadium down. Didn't the Browns' current stadium open in 1999? Yeah. And by the time it's done, about 30 years old, 29, 30 years old. It just seems a little bit wasteful. I mean, they're completely demolishing it. I'm glad they can move on with the property. And on that note, I certainly hope that site, the old stadium site now, reaches its full build-out potential. The last thing I'd want to see is flat ground that just sits there for 5, 10, 15 years untouched. If you're going to tear it down, you're going to pay to do this. I hope somebody else gets that land and knows exactly what to do with it right now. However Cleveland best wants to use it, I hope that it certainly gets used. This is also part of a trend of another NFL team going to a dome in the suburbs. We're not going to have pretty much any more outdoor cold weather stadiums. Like, is Lambeau Field going to be it? And the Vikings have always been indoors, but they stay indoors. You've got Chicago, who wants to go from Soldier Field out to the suburbs of Arlington Heights. You've got now the Browns going from Cleveland outdoors to indoors at Brook Park. You've got the Broncos in Denver who say they want to go to a retractable roof stadium just southwest of downtown Denver. But realistically, once they actually get to, I think, making the project happen, it'll probably go from retractable to another dome stadium. Same reasons why. Real estate surrounding it, events year-round. You can host the Super Bowl in Denver, in Chicago now, in Cleveland, in places that were previously, only either warm weather climates or indoors like the Superdome in New Orleans. So that should be another video, by the way. What's competition for the Super Bowl going to look like in 10 to 15 years? Some brand new cities are definitely going to be in the mix if they've got these indoor stadiums. And the last thing here, this is super important. I can't believe I've waited all this time to get to it. Have we seen Browns fans really clamoring for this new stadium? Have they been complaining forever? We don't go to games. We hate this. I mean, the team's lack of success is also a factor here, but do Browns fans want this? Do they not want this? Do taxpayers want this? Do taxpayers not want this? Do customers overall of the Cleveland Browns, do they actually want this? I'm not even giving you the answer yes or no to any of that. I don't know because I haven't seen much. And I'm kind of curious about that fact. Why haven't I seen either support or pushback really on any of this to a large scale? It seems like Browns fans are like, okay, whatever. So I'm not understanding of that part, but that's definitely a group here. I mean, we've heard from the team, we've heard from the city, we've heard from Cuyahoga County. We don't hear much from the fans. Do they actually want/need this, prefer this? I don't know. So if you're a Browns fan, let me know in the comment section below. How do you feel about all this? Also, thumbs up while you're down there helps me, the video, and the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to see you back here next time.